Hello and welcome. Prepare yourself for 50 remarkable questions designed to test your knowledge. What do we call the place we go to learn? School, zoo, library. The correct answer is school. Here's an interesting fact: children go to school to learn new things every day. Which animal barks? Dog, cat, bird. The correct answer is dog. Here's an interesting fact: dogs bark to communicate with humans and other animals. What shape has three sides? Triangle, circle, square. The correct answer is triangle. Here's an interesting fact: a triangle always has three sides and three corners. What do bees make? Honey, milk, wool. The correct answer is honey. Here's an interesting fact: bees collect nectar from flowers and turn it into honey. What is the color of the sun? Yellow, blue, red. The correct answer is yellow. Here's an interesting fact: the sun appears yellow from Earth and gives us light and warmth. What do we use to write on a blackboard? Chalk, pen, crayon. The correct answer is chalk. Here's an interesting fact: chalk is used to write on boards in classrooms. Which fruit is round and red? Apple, banana, pineapple. The correct answer is apple. Here's an interesting fact: apples are commonly red, but can also be green or yellow. What day comes after Friday? Saturday, Thursday, Monday. The correct answer is Saturday. Here's an interesting fact: Saturday is the day after Friday and is part of the weekend. Where do fish live? Water, air, trees. The correct answer is water. Here's an interesting fact: fish live in water, such as oceans, rivers, and lakes. What do we call a baby cat? Kitten, cub, puppy. The correct answer is kitten. Here's an interesting fact: a baby cat is called a kitten and is small and playful. What do we use to smell things? Nose, ear, hand. The correct answer is nose. Here's an interesting fact. We use our nose to smell different scents. What do cows give us to drink? Milk, juice, tea. The correct answer is milk. Here's an interesting fact. Cows give milk, which is healthy and nutritious. What is the opposite of up? Down, over, underneath. The correct answer is down. Here's an interesting fact. The opposite of up is down. What do we use to eat soup? Spoon, fork, knife. The correct answer is spoon. Here's an interesting fact. We use spoons for liquid foods like soup. Which part of the body helps us hear? Ears, eyes, nose. The correct answer is ears. Here's an interesting fact. We use our ears to hear sounds. What color is the grass? Green, red, blue. The correct answer is green. Here's an interesting fact. Grass is green because of a pigment called chlorophyll. Which animal says moo? Cow, cat, goat. The correct answer is cow. Here's an interesting fact. Cows make a moo sound. What do we call frozen water? Ice, steam, mist. The correct answer is ice. Here's an interesting fact. Water becomes ice when frozen. Which planet do we live on? Earth, Mars, Sun. The correct answer is Earth. Here's an interesting fact. We live on the planet Earth, the third planet from the Sun. What is the shape of a clock? Circle, triangle, square. The correct answer is circle. Here's an interesting fact. Most clocks are round in shape. What animal has a trunk? Elephant, monkey, giraffe. The correct answer is elephant. Here's an interesting fact. Elephants use their trunks to eat, drink, and smell. What color is a lemon? Yellow, purple, green. The correct answer is yellow. Here's an interesting fact: lemons are yellow and taste sour. What do we wear on our feet? Shoes, gloves, shirts. The correct answer is shoes. Here's an interesting fact: shoes protect our feet while walking. Which animal hops and has long ears? Rabbit, tiger, fish. The correct answer is rabbit. Here's an interesting fact: rabbits hop and have long ears. How many wheels does a bicycle have? 2, 3, 4. The correct answer is 2. Here's an interesting fact: bicycles have 2 wheels for balance and movement. What time of day do we usually sleep? Night, morning, afternoon. The correct answer is night. Here's an interesting fact: people usually sleep during the night. What color are strawberries? Red, blue, green. The correct answer is red. Here's an interesting fact: strawberries are bright red when ripe. What do we wear when it rains? Raincoat, t-shirt, scarf. The correct answer is raincoat. Here's an interesting fact: raincoats keep us dry during rain. What animal lives in a kennel? Dog, cat, fish. The correct answer is dog. Here's an interesting fact: dogs often sleep in kennels at home or shelters. What do we call the story of Cinderella? Fairy tale, news, biography. The correct answer is fairy tale. Here's an interesting fact: Cinderella is a famous fairy tale character. What do we use to brush our teeth? Toothbrush, spoon, chopstick. The correct answer is toothbrush. Here's an interesting fact: toothbrushes help keep our teeth clean and healthy. What does a traffic light show? Stop and go. TV shows. Weather. The correct answer is stop and go. Here's an interesting fact: traffic lights guide cars when to stop or go. What animal lives in the ocean and has a fin? Fish, tiger, camel. The The correct answer is fish. Here's an interesting fact: fish have fins and live in water. What do we use to color pictures? Crayons, plates, forks. The correct answer is crayons. Here's an interesting fact: crayons are coloring tools for drawings and pictures. What is the opposite of hot? Cold, tall, thick. The correct answer is cold. Here's an interesting fact: hot and cold are opposite temperatures. What kind of tree gives us apples? Apple tree, pine tree, coconut tree. The correct answer is apple tree. Here's an interesting fact: apple trees grow apples in orchards. What does a clock show us? Time, music, food. The correct answer is time. Here's an interesting fact: a clock shows time, hours and minutes. What do you put on your head to keep warm? Hat, shoes, scarf. The correct answer is hat. Here's an interesting fact: hats keep your head warm in cold weather. What does a farmer grow? Crops, shoes, cars. The correct answer is crops. Here's an interesting fact: farmers grow food like fruits, vegetables, and grains. What do you use to drink water? Cup, spoon, bag. The correct answer is cup. Here's an interesting fact: cups are used to hold and drink water or juice. What do we call the big round light in the sky at night? Moon, star, cloud. The correct answer is moon. Here's an interesting fact: the moon shines at night by reflecting sunlight. Which insect makes a buzzing sound and collects nectar? Bee, ant, worm. The correct answer is bee. Here's an interesting fact: bees buzz and make honey from flower nectar. What do you see with? Eyes, ears, nose. The correct answer is eyes. Here's an interesting fact: we use our eyes to see colors, shapes, and light. What do birds use to fly? Wings, legs, fins. The correct answer is wings. Here's an interesting fact. Birds flap their wings to fly through the air. What shape has no corners? Circle, square, triangle. The correct answer is circle. Here's an interesting fact. A circle is round and has no corners. What day comes before Saturday? Friday, Sunday, Monday. The correct answer is Friday. Here's an interesting fact. Friday comes just before Saturday. What do cats like to drink? Milk, juice, tea. The correct answer is milk. Here's an interesting fact. Cats often enjoy milk, especially kittens. What is the opposite of short? Tall, light, near. The correct answer is tall. Here's an interesting fact. Short and tall are opposite heights. What fruit is long and yellow? Banana, lemon, grapes. The correct answer is banana. Here's an interesting fact. Bananas are long, yellow, and sweet. What does a teacher do? Teaches students. Cooks food. Builds roads. The correct answer is teaches students. Here's an interesting fact. Teachers help children learn new things in school. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed the video and found it helpful. Stay tuned for more exciting content, and we'll catch you in the next one.